Anyone looking to spend 3 weeks in Florida with me? I hear the beaches are lovely in February. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. So remember a couple days ago when we talked about a rumor that NASCAR was gonna move the Auto Club race to Daytona? Yeah, that turns out to be true, but there's a little bit of a twist to it we're gonna talk about in just a few minutes. The 2021 schedule is so wild, NASCAR's still making changes to it, but we'll talk about that in a second. We have a couple other things I want to discuss in this video before we discuss the recent schedule change. I want to start by talking about Jimmie Johnson, because yesterday, Jimmie Johnson was on the track at Daytona testing his Rolex 24 car out on the road course configuration. Look at this scheme. It's simple, but it looks nice. Remember, this is an Action Express and Hendrick Motorsports teamed up entry. That's why you see the 48, that's why you see Ally colors on the car. But that Cadillac looks nice. Jimmie Johnson also spoke to the media and talked about the possibilities of running maybe a NASCAR race this year, possibly the Busch Clash, which he is qualified for, which is also on the Daytona road course. Maybe his run in the Rolex 24 a week or two earlier will help him out in that race. He talked about that a little bit.
Pure transparency that I need to not drive a stock car for a while to really reprogram my senses in my brain to drive downforce.
Well, that about confirms Jimmie Johnson is not running the Busch Clash. That also makes it sound like he's not running any NASCAR races for at least a while, so probably rules out the Daytona 500 and at least the start of the season. With Auto Club being canceled, takes away any incentive for him to maybe come back and race at his home track, more or less. So not sure when or if we'll ever see Jimmie Johnson in a NASCAR stock car again, but it does sound like he's going to give it some time so he can refine his open wheel racing skills. But I thought that was interesting. Still looking forward to watching him race in the Rolex 24. Going to be part of a super strong team, so that will be exciting. Other bit of news I want to briefly talk about. Not NASCAR related, not IndyCar related, not IMSA related or anything like that. It's the Superstar Racing Experience, the SRX, the series founded by Tony Stewart and Ray Evernham that's set to debut this coming summer on CBS. We haven't talked about them in a while, but they revealed on social media the other day what their race cars are going to look like. Obviously, these first pictures are just renderings, but you see this is similar to what they've shown us before, the huge wing in the back. You can see what the front end looks like with the big X in the front, single lug nut wheels. These are just things I'm trying to notice from this rendering here. But here you can see they also posted a real photo of the car showing some of the framework as it's being worked on. Looks pretty neat so far. Definitely seems a bit smaller, more compact than a NASCAR Cup Series car may look like. But that, as far as I can tell, is our first look at the actual cars, what they've worked on, what they've built so far. So very interesting. No word yet as to when the SRX is going to debut. We now know for sure, though, one of the tracks they are racing at. Adam Stern was the first to report it. He said, SRX Racing is announcing today that it plans to race at Lucas Oil Raceway in Indy in 2021. Hey, that's pretty cool. A track that many NASCAR fans have been begging NASCAR to bring at least the lower series to in recent years, but the SRX is going to hit up the 0.68 mile short track in Indianapolis next year, getting my days mixed up, in 2021. So that's pretty exciting. Going to be cool to see that track in all of its glory with this new series on it. The SRX, of course, is exclusively going to race at short tracks across the country, so pretty cool to have Lucas Oil Raceway, IRP, added to the schedule. It's great that they're starting to make announcements like these. Hopefully builds up some of the hype before the summer, before the season actually gets kicked off. I'm still very intrigued by what they're doing, so the more information to get me hyped up, the better, in my opinion. But I just want to hit on those two stories before we talk about the main topic today. And it is similar to what we discussed earlier this week, but yesterday, NASCAR made it official. Auto Club Speedway has been canceled for the 2021 season. Instead, NASCAR is moving their date across coast to Daytona International Speedway, the road course configuration specifically. NASCAR is adding a 7th points-paying road course race to the Cup Series schedule next year. But like I said earlier, there's a twist. Auto Club was supposed to be the 3rd race of the season. Now the Daytona road course, replacing it, will be the 2nd race of the season. So NASCAR is spending almost the first month of the year in Florida. Quick overview of the schedule. Of course, there's the Busch Clash February 10th. February 14th is the Daytona 500 in Daytona. 1 week later, February 21st, the Daytona road course, which has now been added to the schedule. And then a week after that, February 28th, which was originally Auto Club's date, now that will be Homestead Miami Speedway. Homestead was originally the second race of the schedule. They've bumped them down a notch to third, and they've put the Daytona Road Course second. Logistically speaking, it makes sense to have all the teams staying in the Daytona area for, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Speed Weeks is back. That's what this means. Back when teams used to spend a couple weeks in Daytona before the season, that was set to change this year with the Busch Clash and duels and everything condensed into less than a week. But fate had other plans. Speed Weeks is back. NASCAR will spend the first 2 weeks in Daytona, the first 3 weeks or so total in Florida before heading out west. At least that's how the schedule looks right now. Things, of course, can still change. Here's what NASCAR said led to this change being made. Challenges resulting from the ongoing pandemic and the need for significant advanced planning for fans and the NASCAR industry led to the schedule adjustment. Of course, as we discussed on Monday, this is all COVID related without a doubt. We talked about the differences between Florida and California. I believe NASCAR intends on having fans at every single race next year. They understand that at least many races at the beginning of the year will not be at full capacity. They've already announced Daytona 500 will be limited capacity. Presumably the Daytona Road Course a week later will also be limited. And even Homestead Miami confirmed this weekend that their race will not have full capacity. Again, no specific numbers have been given, but NASCAR fully intends on having fans at every single race next year, even if they're not in full numbers. And whether or not specific races will have fans in attendance is almost fully dependent on what specific local governments will allow. NASCAR is planning to push the envelope. They're going to try and bring fans back in significant numbers quicker than most other major sports, but they are still beholden to what local governments will actually allow. And it's hard to predict long term what the pandemic is going to look like, even now as vaccines are starting to roll out or are very close to rolling out. It's still hard to predict how much longer certain restrictions may stay in place. So NASCAR, I think, is hedging their bets. They believe Florida will allow fans in February, and they are not confident that California will allow fans in February. California may not have allowed the event to go off even without fans. California has some of the stricter restrictions of any place in the country right now. So I think NASCAR is looking at that. Fans, of course, thousands of fans are looking at that. I think NASCAR knew they needed to make a decision sooner rather than later. That's why the decision is coming down now, 2.5 months before the race was originally scheduled. We talked about on Monday, NASCAR is not alone in this. IndyCar and IMSA are looking at their race in Southern California in April, and they have some question marks around that. That race may need to be postponed or perhaps canceled, unfortunately. So NASCAR is not the only motorsport. They're not the only sport in the same boat right now. It's just hard to predict months in advance, and when you are a major sporting event that needs months of planning, you got to make these decisions early sometimes. So anyway, NASCAR is moving the Auto Club race to the Daytona Road Course. Let's talk about why. Why is NASCAR adding another road course to the schedule? I said this earlier, but now this means 7 races next year on the NASCAR Cup schedule will be at road courses. 7 different road courses. No 2 are the same. They are running the Daytona Road Course for the Busch Clash a week and a half before this new race, so they are technically running that road course twice, but only once will pay points. I said this on Monday. I think jumping to 7, 8 road courses on the schedule when fans have been conditioned and used to watching road courses 2 or 3 times a year for decades at this point, this seems like a too steep of a jump in my opinion. I like road course racing. I don't always think NASCAR cars put on the best show at road courses. It's hit or miss. I think we've had some winners in recent years. The Charlotte Roval has proven to be a great racetrack. Watkins Glen is always fantastic. Indianapolis was great for the Xfinity cars last year, so I'm excited Cup is giving it a shot. But like Sonoma is sometimes hit or miss. I feel like Sonoma was always my least favorite road course on the schedule. The Daytona Road Course specifically did not make a strong first impression last summer when they raced there in August. It was an okay race, but I think most fans were underwhelmed by what they saw at Daytona in August. So to now add that race twice to the 2021 schedule, a bit of a head scratcher. I don't think very many fans are that excited about it. I do think NASCAR is trying to condition its fans to appreciate road course racing more, to anticipate road course racing more, because the next gen car is almost a sports car. Based on what drivers have said even recently, the next gen car is going to run great on road courses. In many ways, it may be primarily built for road courses. NASCAR is building the next gen car to be a road course and short track car. That's the direction NASCAR is headed. Two very different directions, sure, but collectively that is the vision NASCAR has for its next gen era. And I think by tossing all these road courses out right now, NASCAR is hoping to condition its fans to like road course racing, because when the next gen car shows up, road course races may be kicked up a notch. Those may be even more competitive than they are now, which I would hope for. But until the next gen car gets here, at least, we're going to see a lot of wonky road course racing next year. At least those races will have practice, and I think in some cases qualifying, so drivers won't be seeing the track for the first time when they take the green flag. It does sort of feel like we're drowning under all these road courses. It's a really sudden change, and I'm not convinced it's one that's actually in NASCAR's best interest going forward. NASCAR knows more about the next gen car than I do. The drivers seem to love driving the next gen car on road courses, so maybe this will work out fantastic here in a couple of years. But as far as this next year is concerned, that's just a lot of right-hand turns, guys. I mean, 6 out of the 26 regular season races are road courses. That's, I did the math, 23%. Nearly a fourth of the regular season is road courses. That's what that means is we may see 16 winners next year. We may see the entire playoff grid stacked with winners. It may be hard to point yourself in. Obviously, guys like Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., probably going to win a handful of those road course races, but road courses can be wild cards. There may be 1 or 2 names we're not thinking about as top playoff contenders that could steal a win and lock themselves in. So it will add some parity to the field. Perhaps. I don't know. Chase Elliott could win all 7 of them. I wouldn't really be shocked if that happens either. So we'll either see total dominance from Chase Elliott or we'll see extreme parity that we have not seen in the playoff era. But either way, it at least is interesting. It's going to create storyline. So I'm not entirely against it. I am just concerned that they're making this jump too fast. I haven't talked about what's next for Auto Club Speedway. Of course, reported earlier this year, Auto Club Speedway is set to receive a major facelift, a complete overhaul, if you will. Originally, the plan was for NASCAR to race on the 2-mile Auto Club configuration in February of 2021, and shortly thereafter, NASCAR would break ground on completely reinventing the facility, turning it into a half-mile high-bank short track, hopefully in time for the 2022 schedule. Those plans have changed. Not too surprising, but Auto Club Speedway confirmed yesterday that in 2022, NASCAR will race on the 2-mile configuration, which means at the earliest, the short track version of Auto Club Speedway will not debut until 2023. I know, all this waiting, all these delays get old after a while, but I'm sure a lot of fans in Southern California are at least somewhat excited by this news. Gives everyone one last chance to see the track in the way it was when they grew up watching. It gives them a chance to see it one final time in its full 2-mile large-scale glory before this complete overhaul, which I'm really excited for. Maybe some fans in LA are not as excited for. But NASCAR and Auto Club Speedway did confirm that the construction has been delayed roughly a year. They have refused to give hard dates, hard deadlines, or anything like that, which has me a little bit concerned that this could drag on. And the longer we wait, the more unlikely it is to happen. You just never know. Projects like this could suddenly get canceled. You just never know. But assuming the project is still on, all right, I can wait another year, I suppose. That means we'll get to see Auto Club, 2-mile Auto Club, with the next gen car. Wonder how that's going to work. Fans with tickets to the 2021 Auto Club race that's now been canceled, I believe will have those tickets carry over to 2022. I also read that NASCAR is giving them like a 20% credit to any other ISC NASCAR-owned track. So that's, I guess, pretty cool, but I'm sure disappointing for many fans in Southern California who are looking forward to going out to their home track this coming spring. But that's all the news for today. Thank you all for watching. What's your reaction to the Auto Club Speedway news? Did it surprise you? Is it kind of expected? Let me know what you think of Jimmy Johnson's IMSA chances. Let me know what you thought of the new SRX race car. Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. We have some big things in the works. If you've been paying attention to all my social media the last few days, you might know a little bit about what's coming. Still a lot of work to be done, but I'm very excited. So be sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. And of course, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. I could not do this show without your continued support. Thanks again for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one.